predicted last night, to the point. I said he's going to come out, score 45, shoot 1,000,000 shots, save the day. You're going to rush to Twitter and go, see. What is sustainable? Let me tell you what sustainable is. What Utah's doing. Utah passes. Utah has 6 different players averaging double figures. They're very good late in game situationally. They have an excellent head coach. They have a system built around going to the open man. They don't rely on any individual player, though they have several nice players. Here's what is not sustainable. Praying that Westbrook hits a bunch of threes. He's the worst three-point shooter in the league. Praying that Rudy Gobert of Utah, who didn't foul out a game this year, gets into foul trouble like last night, opening up the lane. Falling by 25 at home, and then praying Westbrook and Paul George have their hottest night in 6 months. It's just like anything else in life. A lot of people in the NBA can have a day, a moment, a game. What is sustainable to be a great band? It's what U2 does. They're not using heroin. It's what people with income and commerce, they don't hang out in Vegas and bet all weekend. What Westbrook did last night's remarkable. It's exactly what I predicted. But that kind of basketball, they had 13 assists. They don't pass. It's just iso ball. Now, Westbrook's a hell of an iso player, and Paul George is a hell of an iso player. Better than anybody Utah has as an iso player. But you're not winning a championship. You're going to win a championship next year, maybe in Boston. Good coach, star players, system. Philadelphia, Ben Simmons, elevating those, system. Golden State, high IQ basketball players. Multiple guys can score, system. Mike D'Antoni, three-point math, analytics, system. That's not a system. That's just Westbrook's great and he got hot. And Rudy Gobert got into foul trouble, which he doesn't very often, open the lane up. That is not a sustainable way to forget winning championships, forget winning the Western Conference Finals. I don't think that's a sustainable way to win a playoff series. I mean, they were down by 25 at half at home to Utah, the underdog. Christine with the news.
No.
Turn on the news. This is the Herdline News.
I'm going to get to you on that because I have a lot of thoughts on you hating again on my guy Russell Westbrook after he did something amazing on my last day.
No, it was just I'm a big believer. You know, I mean, I'm not a celebrator. I'm a big believer in everything's long term, and that there are people that live in the moment, and that's great. That's an important part of life. But to sustain your career, my career, of playoff series, you have to be habits. Good working habits.
You do, but the thing is, you're putting all of the pressure on Westbrook, and you're saying everything that's happened is his fault. But it's not. Because if you want to flip that, I would say that a lot of what's happening with the Cavs is LeBron's fault.
But he has 7 straight trips to the finals, so his faults, he's overcoming largely.
And how many have they won?
3.
And where are they right now? They're barely getting out of the first
round. They've won 3 championships. Outside of Bill Russell and Michael Jordan, that's like in the hierarchy of all time. So, again, I'm not saying LeBron's perfect, but his flaws, he is overcoming them every year and getting to the finals. Like,
I don't think
Westbrook's not getting out of the first round. Like, those flaws are, it'd be the difference if you were a smoker but you had a great career. That would be, I would say, don't do that. But if you were doing drugs, I'd be like, Christine, this is going to close quickly. And by the way, Westbrook's now, what is he, 29?
Yes, but here's the difference. LeBron actually controls what goes on in the front office. Westbrook does not. So LeBron only has himself to blame when the team falls apart or Kyrie leaves. Westbrook, he's not in charge.
Well,
James
he actually...
Harden, that wasn't him leaving.
Actually, Westbrook is, because
Why?
they are so insecure there that they are petrified of him, and they even acknowledge they won't criticize him publicly because they've lost Durant, and they're scared they're going to lose Paul George.
Why would a team criticize their own player publicly?
Steve Kerr ripped Kevin Durant publicly. Ty Lue rips LeBron. That's the way. Nick Saban rips his players. Belichick rips Gronk.
Ty Lue rips LeBron in a way that LeBron says to him, hey, why don't you go to the press and say something negative so the next day you can rip on my teammates and it's not so bad.
Westbrook's gone from the playoffs in one more game. And LeBron's not going to be.
I think that's going to happen, but let me just get to my news because we haven't even gotten there yet. So last night the Cavs did go up 3-2 in the series following a controversial LeBron James block and then his game-winning 3 to win the game. Here's LeBron on both of those things.
As a kid, you always have those 3-2-1 moments, you know, when you're a kid and being able to have one of those moments. And that's what it kind of felt like. It felt like I was a kid all over again, just, you know, playing basketball in my house. And, you know, I would, you know, makeshift hoops and, you know, my socks as a basketball. Of course, I didn't think it was a goaltend, man. I mean, I'm trying to make plays like that all the time. And, I mean, he made a heck of a move, got me leaning right, and he went left, and I just tried to use my recovery speed.
I mean, are you kidding me? It's the first round. You're barely making it through there looking great. Like, they should have maybe won in 5. And he's already talking about this being, oh, I remember when I was a little boy playing hoops, and I dreamed of this moment when I could goaltend and score the game-winning three. Come on, LeBron. How about you play a little better consistently and have your team be good so you're not struggling in the first round?
He's averaging 35, 11, and 8 and shooting 55. It's going to go down as his greatest playoff series.
Okay, fine. Maybe for him personally, but not as a team.
Are we trying to be right or get it right? Probably his best series ever,
okay,
actually.
Fine. Maybe it's his personal best series ever, but the team isn't getting out of the first round as easily as they should. And I do blame that on LeBron. Right. Because he wasn't, remember, before the playoffs even started, he wasn't really caring about chemistry, and then all of a sudden he's all on the guys. This is what happens when you do that. What's your face over there?
I think he's having a...
Okay, you're right. I take that back. He's having a great first series. I'm just mad at him because...
Okay.
The rest of the team is struggling.
Mad is an emotion. You're getting emotional. I get it. You're mad, but this is an amazing series. He's having last night is one of the best games. Series. Oh God! Well, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
He's having. Last night was one of the most flawless games I've ever seen a basketball player play. Magic had a few. Michael had a few. Like last night was flawless basketball. He was absurd.
That's fine if this is a one-man sport, but it's a team sport. Mm-hmm. Speaking of the goaltend, Victor Oladipo, he was the victim of the tragic no call, and he thought it was a goaltend, maybe even a foul on the way to the hoop.
I got a step on him. Felt like I even got grabbed on the way to the rim. I tried to shoot a layup. It hit the backboard. Then he blocked it. There's replays I guess you guys can see. I guess it's a tough play at the time for him, but it was a goaltend. We fought our way back. We tied the game up. That layup is huge.
So either way, though, whether it was a goaltend or not, I don't think it should be coming down to the very end of the game like that. If you've got LeBron, Magic LeBron, on your team.
Well, Jordan didn't win for 8 years without Pippen, so I think the NBA is so good and so deep and so talented that you need help. And I mean, Ben Simmons needs Embiid, and Embiid needs Simmons. And by the way, Victor Oladipo, that was a great move, and that was a goaltending, but that's not a reviewable play, so there's nothing you can do about it. It's like in the NFL, pass interference isn't reviewable. It is first of all, the first time I saw it live, I didn't think it was goaltending. Mm-hmm. Then you see the replay, and you're like, oh, that's goaltending, but that's just for the audience. That's not a reviewable play. You can't do anything.
I'm saying that goes both ways, that the game shouldn't come down to a goaltending call. Bad calls are going to happen, and you can't say that you lost the game because of it, especially in basketball. And finally, getting back to Westbrook, I know you watched this. They were down 25 points.
Yeah.
I just want to remind you, in the third quarter to the Jazz. And then Russell Westbrook and Paul George went off. They combined, took over the game. And Westbrook had 33 of his 45 points in the second half.
Yeah.
So they were not eliminated last night. Here they are.
It's very, very important, especially to win to go home. Regardless of what's going on throughout the game, you always got to give yourselves a chance to win. I thought our guys did a good job of that tonight. Our team did an amazing job of sticking together.
We never quit. I can't pinpoint one thing we did wrong. I thought we just never got down on ourselves, regardless of the lead they built, the shots they were making. We felt, we could have surged back, and we did.
Do you see how much they were talking about we and team?
So nice.
There was not very much I. It was all team and we. And listen, before you get to it, I know you're going to criticize Russell Westbrook for wearing his sunglasses indoors, which normally I would agree with you on. I don't like it when people do that. Let me see your face. You're inside. You don't need to be that cool. However, those are some really cool sunglasses, and they go really well with his outfit, and I think he is very well dressed.
He's always the best dressed guy in the league. He's a great dresser.
That pink Sherpa thing, I really loved it.
Christine with the news.
Well, that's the news.
And thanks for stopping by.
The Herd Line
NFL
News.
Draft, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. It's in Dallas. Let's go there via the Coward Global Satellite Network. Joel Klatt, our college football voice of reason, generally. Okay, here's the word, Joel. Vegas has changed the odds. I have a source told me this morning that I trust deeply. Baker Mayfield's going to go number 1. All righty then. Your thoughts on that?
I just want to be a fly on the wall in the room that you're in when that happens. That's what I want to be. But listen, I've heard from a lot of high-level sources, actually, more than 4, that the decision is coming down to Josh Allen and Baker Mayfield, that Sam Darnold is not a part of this decision, that it just didn't gel with the Cleveland Browns. And you know what? That's fine, because someone else is going to take Sam Darnold, and Sam might be better off for it. But if it is Mayfield at top, I think that's a better selection than Josh Allen. Josh Allen is totally a projection. 100% a projection, and they've got to hit. At least Mayfield, you can say, highly productive, best quarterback in the college game in the last 3 years.
Listen, I want to say this. I've got 3 tiers of these guys. I've said all along, no confusion. I think it's Darnold, Rosen, our elite can win now guys. I do think Baker will win in this league. I just think he needs more. No, I've said this. I just project him as Case Keenum. I project him as Case Keenum. I project Darnold as Luck. I project Rosen as a Matt Ryan. I project Baker. I just have a Lord. Now, I think Lamar and Josh are projects who can win given time, but can't win now. So everybody thinks I hate Baker. No, I just think his ceiling is incredibly low. People have him as Drew Brees. I have him as Case Keenum. That's where I disagree with guys like you.
Listen, I am going to throw your own comments back in your face, because at one point I sat on the couch and you were up on your tower and your perch, and you said, he's off my draft board.
He is.
He's off my draft board.
He is off my draft board. But by the way, that doesn't mean
now you're saying that he can win.
Tim Tebow was undraftable, but Tim Tebow had a 6-game winning streak and beat the Steelers. I'm not drafting a guy who's running from law enforcement. I'm not drafting that guy.
Listen, I understand that.
Yes.
I get it. I totally understand it. And there are teams with your sentiment. And listen, we've had a great back and forth about this, but it does look like he's going to be the selection up there for the Browns. And quite frankly, they've got to get it right. He's the type of guy that brings a lot of belief and self-belief into that locker room, and quite frankly, that might be what they need. That might have been what turned him off a little bit about Sam Darnold, is that there's not a lot of bravado there. You know, you and I have both sat with Sam and talked with him. He is a very unassuming person. And never the biggest personality in the room. Never. In whatever, the lobby at USC or on the field when we talk to him, in the meeting room, he is never the biggest personality in the room. And I think sometimes a GM like John Dorsey, who have been around great players, including Brett Favre, he might want his quarterback to have that. And that's one of the reasons why they might be leaning towards Baker Mayfield. But I do expect that Mayfield, after everything that's happened in the last 24 hours, that Mayfield will be the selection at 1, which is a crazy turn of events, because now all of a sudden the Giants, Jets, Broncos, Bills, everyone's like, whoa. We can get Sam Darnold? Are you kidding me? Because I think that we've gone through this process, and these teams have gone through this process with Sam as kind of an untouchable. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes.
And so they've done their draft boards outside of that, and now all of a sudden, I think chaos is going to unleash on the draft when Sam Darnold is available to the Giants at number 2.
I agree. Now, just to put my tiers up once again, I've put these up 20 times. There's a reason I'm doing this, because people tend to weigh in and out of our show. Tier 1 is Darnold, Rosen. Tier 2 is Baker, can win, but it's going to need more help, lower ceiling. Josh and Lamar are not going to win early, although I think both could succeed if given time in the right environment. Let me go to Lamar Jackson. There was an offensive coordinator in the NFL who said this, and I don't like quotes like this. He'll not be able to play quarterback, can't play quarterback in the NFL. Here's why I don't like it. I don't like the word can't. Okay, a couple years ago,
I don't either.
New England drafted a rugby player. He's still in the league. Okay,
Yeah.
I don't like can't. I mean, Lamar is physically an NFL player. And by the way, here, let me give him some love here. Here's the two things I love about Lamar Jackson. Number one, he had an NFL college coach. So he's heard the language. That's an advantage. Number two is the kid is coachable. Every year at Louisville, he got better. Now, do I think he's a little small for all his running? Yes. Do I worry about him throwing deep out of the hash mark? Yes. Do I think he runs too much? Yes. But I think he's an NFL player. Your thoughts?
Sure. No, I tend to agree with all that. And let me go back to what you brought up initially, which was that comment, right, from the unnamed offensive coordinator. Here's why I won't even say like bristle or anything. I hate that. And let me tell you why. That's an outlier. I have talked with Colin. I have had countless conversations with NFL personnel, both GMs, offensive coordinators, and head coaches. And I will tell you, I never heard that one time. So some reporter, journalism, gets that one quote and runs with it, and I hate it because it becomes a story and everybody gravitates towards it when it's not the general sentiment of the National Football League. I talked with several guys who said, listen, Lamar needs some development. Absolutely. He's a little bit slight, plays with his feet too narrow, which doesn't allow him to drive the football outside of the numbers. All of those things are true. But he's got the athleticism, the ability, the natural arm strength, and the mind to play in the National Football League. He's been incredible on the whiteboard with all of these teams. He schematically is ready for the NFL, like you just talked about, because of Bobby Petrino, his head coach at Louisville. And because there's this one comment out there that was probably in passing, it comes out like it's the overall consensus of NFL personnel, which is not true. I hate that that's a story. Lamar Jackson is likely going to get selected tonight. He is a project, but there's no doubt in my mind he is an NFL quarterback and will be in the future.
By the way, you can't see this because you're sitting in Dallas, but I'm putting something on the screen here. It's a big J. It's called Big J Journalism, and we don't buy into singular. Big J Journalism is what we do on the show. Finally, I got a minute left here, Klatt. Your first NFL draft coverage. It's on Fox 8 Eastern. I'm totally jazzed. You're living in this stuff. Listen, don't get nervous. Breathe slowly tonight. It's a big assignment for you. Are you ready for it?
I'm so ready for it. I'll be on the pre-show starting, the 2 hours prior to the red carpet. We're going to be breaking everything down. I could not be more excited. This draft is so intriguing. And like I said, if Mayfield goes number one, you talk about chaos. I mean, all the chips are going into the middle of the table. I think Buffalo might go up to number two if Darnold's available.
All right, Joel Klatt, great talking to you, buddy.
You bet.
By the way, I got to share something with my audience next. I got to tell you something. I got a text last night, and it is the single greatest text I've ever received in my life. The person who sent it has no idea what it did to me.
Did you send an emoji back?
I actually did.
Of course you did.
Hold on. Time out. I want to do this real. Hold on. Yeah, I did.
Of course. What was the emoji? Just give us that. What was the emoji? A thumbs up, of course.
And
Everyone
then a
fist pound.
And then a
strong arm.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then a
clap. Oh, like a pray.
Yeah, it was multiple emojis. So a guy sent me a tag. I'll share that story with you next. Coming up, all sympathy is not the same, and I'll explain. In L.A., 66% of men lose their hair by age 35. When you start to notice it, it's too late. It's easier to keep the hair you have, and that's where 4hims.com, the website, comes in. It's a one-stop shop for hair loss, sexual wellness, and skincare. Thanks to science, baldness can be optional. 4hims.com connects you with real doctors and medical-grade solutions for hair loss. It's not snake oil pills. This is not gas station counter supplements. These are prescriptions backed by science, delivered overnight, and approved by real doctors. Right now, order. My listeners get a trial month, 4hims.com for $5. Saw the commercial, the TV commercial last night for 4hims. I saw it. You guys see it on the NBA game? It's a really good commercial. I like their radio ads better, way better, but the TV ad was good too. 4hims.com/COLIN.
It's an LA to Vegas.